welcome back to my channel. I tried to record this last night. I actually recorded 4 different intros just for safety, and none of them had sound. Great, it's all good. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. This is the Kikikins versus Reality channel, and this is Isolation Baking, week 4, or 865, or 3052, whatever it feels like to you, because I know it feels much longer than 4 weeks for me personally. I hope you all are doing safe and sound, and I hope you're healthy at home. I had a very adult evening the other night. I played Animal Crossing with my best friend Kat for several hours. This week we're actually going to do something a little healthier, a little less desserty, but still baking. Honestly, I really wanted to make some fresh bread this week, but I don't know about your neck of the woods, but there's no yeast anywhere in my grocery store, and it takes like a week to do a sourdough starter, so I might do that next week. So I couldn't do bread, so I thought, what can I do that I already have here that's something everybody will have? And I thought of banana nut muffins. I've made them before. It's a really basic recipe. It has a lot of pantry staples, and I think unless you're allergic to bananas, most people have that fruit in their pantry. It's very common, at least in the United States. I don't know about other parts of the world, but personally, one of my favorite fruits in the world. And I had pecans left over from like Christmas, but apparently they stay fresh for like ever. They're not even close to being expired. So bananas, nuts, banana nut muffins, they're delicious. They're super easy to make, and you're really gonna like them. Also, it's really short to make. It took me, like, with filming, it probably took me maybe an hour to do everything, start to finish, including setting up camera equipment. So it's very short and easy. You can make them, you know, on the weekend and have them, they'll keep for several days in Tupperware, and honestly, you can keep them for like a week if you put them in the fridge probably. If they get moldy, please throw them away. It is a very simple recipe, it is very beginner friendly, and it is very delicious. So without further ado, let's go bake something. The absolute most important ingredient for this recipe is, of course, bananas. Now, I know we all think these really pretty ones on the right are beautiful and fresh, but that's not what you want. You want those nasty, overripe, nasty looking bananas. Super ripe. I did have one that was disgusting on the outside and absolutely perfect on the inside, which is already in the bowl, as you can see, but I forgot to hit record. So instead, you get to see me unwrap this one that was half good, half bad. You don't want any of those dark brown spots, but if it's just kind of mushy, that's perfect. So we're going to take this about a cup of bananas, and we're gonna mash it up. And I like to use a whisk when I mash up bananas, but you can use a fork, or I guess you could use a potato masher, but I think it's too big for this kind of deal. The next thing we're gonna need is, I spilled it. We're gonna need half a cup of milk, and you can use whole milk, you can use 2% milk, doesn't really matter that much. I like whole milk for baking or pretty much anything. And then we are going to need flour, and lots of it. It's going to be 1 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose, just regular flour. The next ingredient is sugar, and not that much of it. Only 1/4 of a cup. That's why this is a muffin recipe and not a cupcake recipe. It's less sugar, but it's sweet enough to still taste like a treat. And for our leavening agent, we're going to need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And this is actually half a teaspoon, so I'm going to actually use 4 of these, but it measures out to 2 teaspoons of baking powder, not soda, powder. We will also need just 1/2 teaspoon of table salt. And we'll also need 1 egg. And we're going to want to beat this egg before we add it to the batter, because this is a batter you don't want to overmix, and therefore you want everything beaten beforehand. Now the recipe is a little different than a lot of baking recipes. You're not going to use butter. You're going to use some form of cooking oil, and you're going to need 1/3 of a cup of either vegetable or canola oil. They usually tend to be the best because they have very neutral flavors. And lastly, we are going to need about 1/2 cup of chopped nuts. I had pecans, or pecans, however you say it, in my pantry, so that's what I'm going with, but walnuts are actually more traditional. Now it's time to put it all together. We're going to start by mixing our dry ingredients. We're going to add our 1 3/4 of a cup flour to the bowl first. Followed by our sugar. And the salt and baking powder. There goes our salt. I don't know what I was doing there, but okay. I thought it looked artistic. Oh well. And then you're going to just use a whisk to mix that up very lightly. And we're going to move to our next set of ingredients. We're going to add the beaten egg to the milk, mix that together, and then we're going to add the vegetable oil as well. So you want all of your liquid ingredients pretty much whipped up together. The only thing you're going to leave out that's left over is the mashed banana and the pecans. Next, we're going to make a well in the center of our dry ingredients in our big bowl. This is a great recipe because you really only need one big bowl and a measuring cup. Okay, and now we're going to put our wet ingredients into that well in the middle of the dry ingredients and mix it together by hand. I would not mix this with an electric mixer because you will overmix the batter and you need this batter to be lumpy. Before everything's completely mixed together, you're going to add the mashed banana. Gently mix that in. And before all the flour is incorporated, add your pecans, or pecans, or pecans, however you like to say that. Ta-da! So now it's time to fill our muffin tins. I've got this lovely, beautiful muffin tin that I've had probably since before college. So it's been well loved and well used, and it looks like this now. I'm also going to use liners because I keep forgetting to buy cooking spray at the grocery store because I'm too busy trying to stay 6 feet away from people. And you want to fill your tins about 3/4 of the way up. We don't want to overfill this because they will rise in the oven, and if you overfill it, you are going to get a big mess. See my last video to see how much of a mess it can be.
we'll put our muffins into a 400-degree Fahrenheit preheated oven for about 20 minutes. Recipes always say 20 to 25, but I personally check how they're doing at about 15 minutes. And mine were almost done at 15, so I checked them again at 18 minutes, and they were done in 18. You'll know they're done when you insert a toothpick into the center and it comes out clean. Good old-fashioned toothpick check. So now all that's left to do is enjoy some delicious banana nut muffins. And these are really great for breakfast. My personal favorite way to eat them, ooh, look at that ooey gooey inside. My personal favorite way to eat these are to just put a little pad or pat, whatever you're supposed to call it, of butter in the center of a very warm muffin fresh out of the oven, or you can microwave them for breakfast and enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Stay safe and make something delicious.
Okay, seriously, I've been eating those muffins for breakfast for the last like 2 days, and they are still delicious. My suggestion, after the first day when they're not fresh out of the oven, I put them in the microwave for like 30 seconds. Just put a little butter in the center of them. Beautiful, wonderful, I love it. I highly recommend that you do this, and I hope that you do. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And I also wanted to thank everybody who's out there in the trenches right now. Healthcare workers, delivery people, people that are just making things still go on, like grocery store workers, postal workers. I know I ordered several packages this week, and they all warned me that it might be May, and I was like, that's fine. And they were all here in like 2 days. So, you know, people are still working and people are still fighting. And those of you who aren't working, I understand. One of the reasons I'm able to do these videos is because right now my work is closed, and it's tough. It's tough for everybody, but I think we're gonna get through this, and I think it's gonna be okay. But I hope this gives you something to do, something to distract you from the stress of this situation, and I hope you guys have a great week. Anyways, leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel like doing. Anything's appreciated, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.